If you have beloved pets at home, grab your tissues and hold on. This is going to be quite an emotional one. Dogs are extremely special. Not only do they give us love and affection, laughs and comfort, some are known to have pretty important jobs. When the men and women of our armed forces come home from battle, some have PTSD or post-traumatic stress disorder. In order to cope with the trauma, many of them get service dogs. Service dogs can save the lives of the humans they love, but sometimes they're the ones needing the saving. When David Broido got home from his tour of duty, like so many of his comrades, he had PTSD. David's anxiety attacks and nightmares had gotten so bad that he knew he needed to get a service animal to help him through. But it would be another 2 years before his best friend would appear in his life. David adopted a puppy who he named Bones from a shelter. He trained him to be a devoted service animal. That's when David said everything in his life changed. It wasn't long before David's friends began to see a difference. David's friends began to notice what a dramatic effect Bones had on David's mental health. They even began calling the pup Dr. Indiana Bones. Bones was definitely a blessing. David and Bones began going on many adventures together. David and Bones would dress up and go to large cosplay events. They also began going on long road trips together, like to the Whitewater Preserve in California. The pair also spent many hours visiting 200 historic film locations all over California. Unfortunately, things wouldn't always be smooth sailing for the best friends. Bones had begun severely limping on his rear left leg, so David brought him to the vet. On June 2, 2017, David received some heartbreaking news. News that would change his life forever. David had a lot of decisions to make. David was told by the West Hills Animal Hospital that Bones had osteosarcoma. Osteosarcoma is a type of bone cancer that could be fatal. In order to save his life, Bones would need to have his leg amputated. Unfortunately, David wasn't able to pay for the expensive surgery. David knew that the time was dwindling. If he wanted to save Bones' life, he would need to act fast. But what options did he have? The procedure was very expensive. David began researching everything he could do to try to find a possible solution. It took him some time, but David was able to come up with a plan. After doing some research, David found out that the surgery would be a lot less expensive if he did it in his hometown of Philadelphia. After speaking to David about what was going on, his friend set up a GoFundMe in Bones' name. Bones and David had a long journey ahead of them. David wasn't sure if they would make enough money for the trip and the surgery, but at least they would have one epic adventure. I was fairly positive this was just going to be the last road trip we were going to have. I had to make it really awesome, said David. He packed everything that they needed, and the best friends hit the road for the cross-country adventure. The pair made some pretty incredible memories. They visited the Arcs National Park in Utah. They drove through the Rocky Mountains. They even stopped at the Gateway Arch in St. Louis, Missouri. They were having the time of their lives. The duo even slept in David's car in a Walmart parking lot. Finally, they made it to Philly. While they were traveling, David's community compiled their money together and raised enough money for Bones' surgery. David quoted, "By the time I had gotten home, the GoFundMe page had reached its original goal." Bones' surgery was a complete success. Thanks to the people in his community, David was able to pay for the surgery and make a full recovery. This also meant they were able to continue on their fun adventures. David was filled with gratitude for the people who helped make this happen. "There's no amount of words that are appropriate for this," David said. "It doesn't really cost much to make somebody happy. It costs a lot to make somebody angry or upset, you know what I mean? It costs way more to be stressful and angry than it does just to be happy," he said. This just goes to show how strong the power of kindness truly is. Please share this with your friends and family.